It's been a while, like a long while, but welcome back to my monthly edition of everything I watched this month, except right about now it's not so monthly considering that I haven't done it in months. I did February, I did March, April just right out the window. Because April kind of just flew right by. I really didn't watch a whole lot in April. And then at the end of the month, well, technically the beginning of May, when I would have recorded this video originally, I went on a trip to Washington, D.C., and I was there for like almost a week, so I got really busy. I didn't really have a chance to record any videos. So then when I got back, I kind of just kept pushing this video off, and then I was like, you know what, I won't do it. But then now here we are at the end of May, and I'm like, I can't do my May video if I haven't done an April video. So here we are, very last minute. We're doing an April video, gonna do kind of just like a quick little speed round of everything I watched in April. Again, it's not a whole lot. And then, of course, stay tuned for tomorrow's May video, or maybe coming out the day after. But tomorrow is June 1st, so that's absolutely insane. We're already halfway through the year. But for now, let's talk about everything I watched in April. And of course, you can always follow me on Instagram at The Movie Life, where I post a counter of every movie I've watched this year. And we'll talk about some series here as well. So to kick off the month, I started off with some classic animated films from my childhood. The Lorax movie. Love that film, as well as also Gnomeo and Juliet, of course, a gnome adaptation of the classic Romeo and Juliet story. I love this film as well. I finished watching The Falcon Soldier. I believe I started watching at the end of March, and then I finished it in April. So this was great. This was one of the first early MCU Disney Plus series. Definitely one of the better ones. I really missed those. At the same time, I don't miss it because, waking up at 3 a.m. every Friday to watch these new episodes when it was coming out. So it was nice to just watch it on my own time this time around. Then, of course, Easter came and I watched Hop, one of my favorite movies for the holiday, as well, of course, real throwback with Here Comes Peter Cottontail. You just got to watch this every Easter. This and Hop, but got to watch it every year. So that was exciting. Then we get into cinema with Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. This is a movie that had been hyped up to me so much. Of course, it originally came out in December, and one of my best friends from my pre-calc class was freaking out about this and saying how insanely good it was. And I had watched the first Puss in Boots movie all the way back in, I think, 2013 or something like that, 2011, 2012, 2013, somewhere around there. It was a long time ago. I wasn't really a fan of it. I mean, I like the Shrek universe. I like Puss in Boots as a character. I just didn't like that first Puss in Boots movie. So I was hesitant about this, but then I ended up getting it on DVD around Easter, and I was like, I'm finally going to watch it. Oh my God, this movie is beautiful. Literally, it's amazing. It is now one of my favorite animated movies of all time. It is insane how good Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is. If you haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend it. You don't even have to watch the first movie. But it also just gets me really excited for the future of the Shrek universe. And then, like I said, cinema was just beginning with Puss in Boots, because this is when I started April vacation for me from school, and I suddenly decided that every night I was going to watch one of those really big, wildly popular, insanely well-received, award-winning films that I had never seen before, but everybody was hyping up. So I watched Whiplash. And whoa, I mean, this one, I was excited to watch it because I love Miles Teller. I love J.K. Simmons. I used to be a drummer myself. So I was interested in what this movie would be about, but it was just not at all what I expected. This is one of the most brutal, intense movies I have ever seen, but I loved it. I don't have a top 10 list of my favorite movies of all time. I kind of just have a list of my favorite movies because, I can't narrow it down to just 10. But Whiplash is now on that list because I loved it that much. And then the next day, I went to the movie theaters and I saw Air, the new Amazon Prime Video, which released in theaters for about a month and is now streaming on Prime Video. So check it out if you haven't seen it already. This is, of course, the origin story of Michael Jordan's Air Jordan shoe from Nike. And this is a really cool movie because, first of all, it's set in, I think it was the 80s. The soundtrack, I love 80s, 90s music. Like, I love throwback music like that. So this film was great for that. A lot of references to that era and that time period. And it was also just a great story. I love seeing kind of the behind the scenes process of how things like this work. I love movies about the business side of things. That's why I always love films like The Fabelmans or something like that, where it's the business side of Hollywood and filmmaking. So I love something like this, where it's like the business side of sports and shoemaking, which is never something I thought I would ever be interested in. But great cast, Matt Damon, Ben Affleck directed it. It's insane. It's a really good movie. I highly recommend it. And then I took a little break from the highly well received movies, and I watched a couple coming of age movies with Easy A with Emma Stone. It was all right. It was okay. Eighth Grade was actually really good. A really strong, realistic depiction of what middle school life is actually like for us. So I really appreciated this film, especially, since I was just in middle school a couple years ago, like 4-ish years ago. Really good film. I recommend it. Goodwill Hunting. This is where we resume the highly renowned films. Another one. Great cast here. Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Robin Williams. Man, this is a powerful story, a powerful film. I really, really enjoyed it. The Wolf of Wall Street. Probably one of the most recommended movies to me of all time. I've seen it so hyped up on TikTok, and I was like, you know what? I am finally going to watch it. And I never really had an appreciation for Martin Scorsese and or Leonardo DiCaprio before this film. But then I watched it, and this film is insane. In a good way. Like, it's like actually insane. The stuff that happens in this movie, it is so mature, so adult. There's so much swearing, so much really not kid-friendly stuff. But I loved it. I mean, it was a great movie. It's definitely way too long. I definitely fell off and got a little bit bored towards the end. But for the most part, I really enjoyed this film about this sleazy guy and this whole scam that he basically ran. It was a really, really interesting story. So I really enjoyed The Wolf of Wall Street. But probably not going to watch it again anytime soon because, like I said, it's really long. Especially when I started at like 8 o'clock at night or maybe even later than that. And then it was a long night. And then the next night, I watched La La Land. Again, another highly renowned, really recommended film. I love rom-coms. I love musicals. You put that together, and this is just perfect for me. I think this is a great film. A beautiful story about... I mean, this movie is literally basically the definition of right person, wrong time. I really love the realism of that and how, yes, it's a musical. Yes, there's some kind of a imaginative, almost dream sequence moments in this film, but it doesn't get that fairy tale ending. Of course, Emma Stone, Ryan Gosling, great performances. I have never seen them sing before, so that was great to see. Both gave stellar performances. And then finally, I watched Rocky for the first time, the first ever Rocky movie. I watched it, and, I'm going to be honest, there's a little bit of a hot take right here. I'm not super into it. I didn't love it, but I definitely didn't hate it either. It was good. It was okay. But I'm looking forward to seeing the other Rocky movies and how those compare. But I am a little concerned considering that most people say that this is one of, if not the best Rocky movies. So if I wasn't super into this, what am I going to think of the other ones? I mean, I loved Creed, so I'm definitely going to give him a chance. But, of course, the one show that I did really consistently watch throughout the month of April is, of course, Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso, amazing show. I love it. Actually, today, at the time of recording this, the final episode came out, so I'm really excited to watch that tonight. I'm going to be doing a review on the channel, so stay tuned for that. Man, I love this show. So anyways, guys, that was April. Again, kind of just a quick little speed round here for everything I watched in the month of April 2023. Stay tuned for that Ted Lasso Season 3 review. And, of course, my month of April. No, I just did month of April. My month of May, what I watched. That'll be coming out either tomorrow or sometime in the next couple days, so stay tuned for that. But, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What did you watch in the month of April, if you can even remember, because, again, that was a while ago. But for now, guys, thanks for watching. Please drop a like if you enjoyed this video and hit the subscribe button so I can keep it up to date on everything goes on in the movie life.